All right, and we are back here on Couch Coach Live here. A Tuesday night under the lights here on Couch Coach Live. What's going on, Mal?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Good, man. Just another, just grinding through. It's holiday week, short week, so hey, just trying to get through the week and
Right.
have somewhat of a little bit of a break this week. So we here.
Yes. Same here, man. Same here. Just a little one though.
Yeah, yep.
Make the best of it,
But
you know?
yeah, have a little bit of mixture of everything going on, and it'll be like I said, it's a short week, but still some other stuff going on as well. So we got a great show lined up for you tonight. So we're gonna discuss the Ravens win in LA versus the Chargers last night in the Hardball Bowl. We'll discuss that. We'll talk about the Commanders and the Steelers taking divisional L's. Pretty much which team essentially not the most shocking, but more of the sense of the most impactful. So we'll discuss that. Danny Dimes. I think we talked about Danny Dimes last week being benched for Tommy DeVito.
Hmm.
Yeah, Tommy. Hold up. Yeah, it's Tommy
Lock.
DeVito.
Oh,
Because
that's
I'm
what I'm doing. All
thinking.
right.
No,
All
no,
right.
no, no. That's the bizarre thing about it.
Yeah, we'll
He's the
talk about
QB
it.
number
Yeah.
two.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's QB
Yeah.
number two, but he gets bypassed, which we'll talk about that. How
Man.
bizarre. 'Cause we kind of talked. I don't know if we talked about it last week. I don't recall, but I remember.
Mm-mm.
I don't know if we kind of. I don't think it happened when I think because the thing him being benched might have happened after our show, but then because everything escalated quick. We went from him being released to essentially him being benched first and then being released. So we'll talk about
Right.
Daniel Jones and where Daniel Jones could potentially go. In the next few days or so. So we'll talk about that. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Games to watch this weekend. We got obviously the regular season finale in college football. So we'll, that. And then also we got, pretty much the final stretch of the NFL season with about 5 weeks left to go in the season. So we'll talk about the game to watch this weekend. We'll go into our picks and then we'll give a game ball and our final thoughts to wrap up the show. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a brief time out here on Couch Coach Live. We'll kick that intro and we'll be right back here on Couch Coach Live.
Yeah.
Yes, and we're back here on Couch Coach Live. This week's Couch Coach Live is powered by SeatGeek. Head to SeatGeek.com. Use the promo code CouchCoach. Get yourself $20 off your first purchase by using our promo code CouchCoach. So, gotta talk about some the Monday night matchup, which it was funny going into in when the schedule was released in May. This is kind of one of the games I circled as far as kind of a game to watch because obviously the intrigue of the Harbaugh brothers. You have Jim and John squaring off against each other the week before Thanksgiving, and
Mm-hmm.
was their parents' wedding anniversary. So it
Mm-hmm.
was. I was like, this is a very bizarre timing of it. Um, to me, kind of lived up to the hype. So we had the Ravens win by the final score of 30-23. What was your thoughts on your division rival getting the win, getting a dub in LA?
Lucky. No, I'm just kidding. It's weird watching the Ravens, man, because sometimes it just seems like they're still trying to figure it out. Like, you know what I mean? But great game. They they D Henry, and he carried the ball 24 times, 140 yards. Like Against us, he only carried it 13 times. That I think that fumble might have hurt him in the beginning of the game. Um, but I told them, I said, like we know how to deal with Lamar and we know how to deal with Henry. You got to hit him. But great game, man. Lamar Jackson, 16 for 22, 177 yards, two TDs. Hubert, Herbert or Hubert?
Herbert. Yeah,
Herbert.
Herbert.
Okay, I want to mess his name up. I'll be messing names up. But 21 for 36, 218 yards. Um, I think great things. For the Chargers, you see great things coming. You know what I'm saying? Moving forward because I feel like they kind of been underachieving for some years. But great game, man. I really thought the Ravens should win. But you know what's weird? I think the one thing that the Ravens to me seem like is missing is their defense. The defense intensity, like I don't feel people like they're really scared of the Ravens defense like they used to be. I think their offense is dangerous, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe it's just me.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, that's it, man. You know what I'm saying? Great game. You know.
Yeah. Great game by the Ravens. And this
Hmm.
is kind of one of those matchups where I always look at like it's contender versus pretender type of
Right.
situation. And it's kind of where you
Right.
separate yourself. Even though the Chargers, and I even had them as a 11 win team going into
Hmm.
the season. I definitely think they're still a good team, but there's levels to it. When you got a
Right.
Baltimore now, and you think of now you have that weapon, as far as that Derrick Henry. Like I always said, that was kind of the missing piece in the sense. You look at that,
Right.
obviously, it, helps you know accentuate their run offense as well. Lamar Jackson, two tubs on the air and then one on the
Hmm.
ground. And then you look at the backbreaker by Justice Hill. That's another dynamic
Right.
guy that could potentially, it's almost like getting cut by 1,000 paper cuts, but with that run game. And Baltimore, right at 8-4, right at kind of where they need to be at this point. I mean, obviously,
Hmm.
in previous years, you had, they've been the 13 win team, this, that, and the third, but they're right where they need to be. I think it was a great effort by them. Obviously, like I said, there are levels. The Chargers are still a good football team. Don't get
Right.
it twisted. I still think they will be a wild card team, as I kind of predicted in the regular season. I mean, in the preseason.
Hmm.
But there's levels to it. Like I said, it's levels to it. And obviously the Harbaugh Bowl, it lived up to its hype as I mentioned earlier, as far as that, and obviously John got the edge once again, 3-0 in this matchup. Could Jim ever win against his big brother? We shall see. But
Right.
yeah, still a good game, and I don't necessarily think that these two teams will play each other in the playoffs because I still think they're going to be probably two wild card teams. So I don't necessarily think
Hmm.
unless something bizarre happens and the Ravens win the North, they may face each other. But yeah, it was still a great game.
Hmm.
Everything that won, especially from these two teams. But
I got a question.
yeah,
Didn't they get what's the name? Deontay Johnson? They haven't like he didn't even play.
yeah, and I think that was kind of when they got him. I don't think really it was really a heightened expectation. I think he was there like kind of help them in like situation of depth if somebody went down. But
Hmm.
I think and that's another one where down the line, I think he could be effective, and that's one thing too where I don't necessarily think it was like this heightened expectation for him to kind of contribute in a sense, like kind of that, like oh, he's the missing piece. I think he just helps, kind of like as far as if you have a situation where Bateman is out,
Okay.
Day is out, like kind of one of those things. But trust me, when his number get called, I think he can perform.
Because they
I'll
would
be
make it such
surprised
a
if you
big
see him.
thing. They big thing about Zay Flowers being on one side and him being on the other, and because he gonna be able to get separation. And I'm like, they haven't even played him.
Yeah, and also once you had a touchdown, Bateman had a touchdown in that game as well. On
Hmm.
yesterday, so, yeah, they're right where they need to be at 8-4.
You think by getting him, the receivers might say, "I need to step up, or I mess around and lose my job."
I mean, could be. But I think with them being so young, with Bateman and Zay being so
Hmm.
young in the sense, I think they still trying to kind of doing their own, trying to just get themselves kind of acclimated and everything. I mean, it might put somewhat pressure on them, but
Hmm.
I think he's just the ultimate insurance. Like if somebody goes down or you know, from
I
that
got you.
standpoint.
I got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So we'll talk about a team that actually that the team that won this week. We got to talk about the two losers this week in the Washington Commanders and the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers suffered a 24-19 loss to the Cleveland Browns on Thursday Night Football, which is so weird because it feels like it's been so long. It's only it's just been
Yeah.
5 days, but versus a loss with the Dallas, the Commanders loss that really cuts deep 2 days ago.
Right.
A 34-26 loss to the Dallas Cowboys. Both Steelers and the Commanders lose to divisional rivals. That essentially aren't in a sense kind of playing for anything at this point. Both of the teams they lost to were under 500 and pretty much just trying to get through the season. So between these two losses, you can talk about the loss, or which one of these losses is the most significant. What you got?
Most significant. Okay. I feel like with the weather incident with the Browns that I think the Steelers still had a good chance to win that game. I felt like they should have ran the ball, trusted the run game a little bit more, especially with how it was snowing. But they wanted to pass, and I think some of those passes, they was just, they did a really really good job still passing. But I just feel like then uh I don't know. I just think they could have been executed a little bit better, regardless of the weather. And I think you have to do that when you're talking about being a Super Bowl caliber type of team, or deep playoff type of team. And then like even our field goal kicker, he doesn't really miss field goals, and he missed a couple. You know what I mean? And it was the weather. So now Tomlin kind of lost faith in him. You know what I mean? Or didn't want to put that pressure in him to mess his mind up. And then I'm gonna go from that. So I really don't feel like that one's that bad because we gonna get them. You know what I mean? We get them again. So, but I'm gonna go to the Commanders and watching that game. Um, I feel like the Commanders was supposed to win this game. Um, that definitely that run when he did the turnaround and that was awesome. That was great. But let me see. The Commanders had the
Should have
most
been a
total.
touchback. Which should have
Right,
been a
it could have.
touchback.
Right. Okay, do your thing. Do your thing.
No,
I ain't
no,
even
no,
mad
no,
at
no,
that.
no.
But the Commanders had the total yards and passing and rushing. Um, and then when you look at it, the only thing that the Cowboys had was possession, and that was only 10 minutes. You know what I mean? But then you got the two interceptions with the Commanders. But I feel like the Commanders it hurt them more. It's weird because when you watch the game, the announcers are they dead wrong. They were saying how your field goal kicker was doing so well, right? And then he missed two, right?
Yeah, he missed extra point.
Extra point.
He missed
Okay.
two extra points. Did he miss a field
Okay.
goal? Yeah, he missed a field goal, and I think, yeah, I mean, he
At the
missed
end
a
of the
field
game,
goal
right?
and extra point. Yeah, he missed the
Yeah.
extra point in the game. Yeah.
Right. But I'm saying they were saying he was like what 26 for 28 or something like that. He's been doing well this season, and then that would happen. Like even us, if we rely on our field goal kicker. You know what I mean? And he missed a couple. I just feel like y'all should have beat them, and y'all better team than them. But I think with you guys, regardless, it's still just experience. So I can't knock it that much. And then the Cowboys really ain't got. They not playing for anything. You know what I mean?
I mean, at all two losses, it's got to be the Commanders. I mean, considering the
Yeah.
fact that I'm gonna talk about kind of more so about the game, but I'll start first with just their positioning. They're seven and
Right.
five. They are in danger of not making this playoffs. Now you
Yeah.
have a surge in Arizona. Thankfully, if worst come to worst, and you in Arizona, if us in Arizona have the same record at the end of the year, it granted if the Sanders stay the same, the Seahawks win the AFC West, and then
Right.
Arizona beat a wild card. Um, it's luckily we got that tapper because we beat them. Because at
Mm-hmm.
this point, you gonna have to hold on to that 7 seed because you look at Green Bay's there, Minnesota, and they're not going nowhere. So you're pretty
Right.
much entrenched in that 7th spot, and Arizona is right there. That's one thing too. Is it's starting to look like you may miss the playoffs. This is a game that you really really needed. And I think the thing with the Cowboy situation is they didn't have nothing to play for, but they was going against their old coach, and that's
Yeah, I
where
forgot about that. My
I'm
bad.
and I'm like, and I keep telling like this. It reminds me of, I know, I'm a kind of piggyback, not piggyback, but kind of take it to the basketball route. This reminds me a lot of when obviously I covered VCU. So obviously VCU, their old coach was Mike Rose. Mike
Mm-hmm.
Rose went to Penn State. VCU played Penn State in the tournament in Disney World last year,
Mm-hmm.
and they came out like game busters against um, Mike Rose and Penn State, and they beat them.
Mm-hmm.
And it reminds me of that game because guys was intense. Michael was all over the place, sacking, and they were getting, fumble. They was getting turnovers, almost similar to kind of how fiery that defense was with a Dan Quinn. So they
Right.
played for their coach. They played. They wanted to not prove him, but more so play. In spite of losing Dan Quinn, the Cowboys pretty much gave us so many opportunities to win that football game, but we didn't capitalize. Um, Obviously, the turnovers, I think of simple stuff like even
The
like John
fumbles.
Bates fumbling in the fourth quarter, the bad snap out. I don't blame that kick on Austin. That was a bad snap by Tress. I mean, it is what it is. It was a bad snap. So I think anybody, the perfect Chris Boswell, Justin Tucker, and all these good kickers would have missed that because the snap
Mm-hmm.
was bad. And a lot of
Right.
those where you come from, and then I think Austin still was kind of struggling with his injury now, which in a weird way they put him on injury reserve. So now I'm assuming Zane Gonzalez will be the field goal kicker going forward. But to me, and I know this gonna sound kind of crazy, but I think this losing streak, it's kind of like a blessing in disguise in a weird
Mm-hmm.
way. Because my biggest fear going into the season was I didn't want the Commanders to be hot going into that bye week. That was my biggest thing. I did not want them to be on like this 5 or 6 game win streak going to the bye. Hopefully
Mm-hmm.
they'll get the win on Sunday. They'll be 8-5. You get the bye week, you got 4 games left.
Right.
And I think this is just going to be one of those where, and this is, we'll see what this team is made about. Because I think when you look at this game, this one is the one that really slipped away. It's going to be so many games that if this team don't make the playoffs, they're going to look at this. This could be the number one game
Right.
why they didn't make the playoffs. And what's the crazy thing about it is, the good thing about it is they got in the last week of the season in Dallas. So
Mm-hmm.
guess what? It's going to be the same situation. If it
Damn.
comes down to when
Yeah.
are we in, guess what? Dallas gonna have the same intensity. They don't care. Mike McCarthy probably get fired right after the game. But guess
Mm-hmm.
what? They still gonna play hard. They still gonna play in spite of their love of Dan Quinn. So,
Right.
uh, so the good thing about it is you get a do over, and you can do the same thing that they did to us at home. You can do that. Do that. On January 5th and beat them. So
Right.
they still control their destiny, but a few more losses. You're gonna have to be needing some help. You're gonna need this. You're gonna have all
Mm.
win and you in. That's all. Win and you in. That's no more. We don't need no scenarios. Oh, if a Philly lost, a Dallas lost, plus a Giants tie or win, you in. No, win, win,
Right.
win on out, win out. And I think this. And I'm so glad after Sunday we got a bad week. We get ourselves kind of together, kind of heal some stuff. It ain't gonna be 100% cured of our injury stuff, but But it's gonna be tough down the stretch. And then how this running game gonna look, especially now without Austin Eckler. I don't think you're gonna see Austin Eckler this year. I don't know. It's that hit was horrible. That hit was a nightmare.
Right.
Yeah, that was gut wrenching to see him, down on the ground like that. And then even when he got up, he barely can move. He was, struggling to even keep his head up. Like, yes, but hey, this if you want to make the playoffs, you just win and you win.
Right.
So put up a shut up.
Right.
We're gonna find
I
out how this
mean, like,
team will do. Yeah.
and I really, mishaps, but you can't. They lost the game, so, but I really feel like they could have won it. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yep. And hopefully they'll turn that adversity yet again and turn into triumph. Because at this point, you're there. And, we shall see. I want to definitely see how they play on Sunday against Tennessee. It's another team that eerily similar. They went to Houston and beat the Texans.
Hmm.
So, don't people, this ain't just they gonna run over you, that you can roll over them like you thought you were gonna do to Dallas and all this. Nope. They just as hungry as they want. They got Will Levis. Well, yeah, Will Levis still playing. Yeah, right. He played Sunday, but you got Tennessee coming to town. That take care of business. You got to make
Right.
sure make sure he don't have no coffee and mayo. Make sure we have no
You got
coffee or mayo for him.
you got any serious games that you feel like y'all may lose? You feel like everybody y'all got coming up, y'all can win?
No, I got an easy road because after the bye
Okay.
week, you got the Saints who, even in a weird,
Right.
bizarre way, they're still fighting for playoffs because I
Mm.
think I forgot who they play. They're they play the Rams, so that's kind of follow with the Rams. I don't know who they're gonna play in week 14. So you got them, and then you got the Eagles and Philly. No, I mean no, the Eagles at home the week of Christmas, the weekend before Christmas. I'm assuming we're gonna probably get flexed out. I would assume.
Mm.
So it'll be that. Then you got the Atlanta Falcons coming to town. Kirk Cousins coming. Um, which they're another team that's kind of fighting for their lives, and who knows how Tampa will be, um, that week after Christmas, and then you got
Hmm.
Dallas. So, yeah, they all are fighting for something, you know.
Right.
So it's still a tough road, but you gotta win. You gotta win.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, oh, yeah. It's gonna be a tough. We got tough 5 games left. Very tough.
Right.
We're gonna find out a lot
Okay.
about this team.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's stay in the we gotta definitely stay in the NFC East. I think by far the greatest division of all time. That's just me, my personal opinion. So we got
Hmm.
to talk about the New York Football Giants and their release of Daniel Jones, aka Danny Dimes. So he was cut from the Giants following requesting his release. So he went from being benched in favor of Tommy DeVito, who at the time was their third string quarterback.
Hmm.
Then Daniel Jones was the fourth string quarterback. So he went from being benched, then being a fourth string quarterback, and then he actually played safety and on the scout team. Um,
Right.
and also, yeah. So with that release, he was cleared. He cleared waivers, so pretty much he's free to sign with any team. So in teams that are interested in Daniel Jones services are the 49ers, Lions, 49ers, Dolphins. I haven't heard one where they said maybe the Ravens as well. So, what are your thoughts on Danny Dimes being released?
Man. I guess it was time coming. I like Daniel Jones. I felt like from the beginning he got drafted. Blessing for him. But I don't think he really. I don't know if he thought that he was going to the Giants. It was supposed to be somebody else. So then with that, so people was kind of upset that he even was picked to go there. I think they wanted the dude from Ohio State that passed away.
Um, Dwayne, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
they
right.
was
We're in the
looking.
same draft. Yep.
Right. So they thought it was going to be him. So let's just start from there, man. And then all the expectations because they was like, why they pick him? And then I started looking how he run. He was a big dude. Then they went and got a new coach. It was drama there with the new coach because of Bill Belichick and Brian Flores. It was just always something. Then they went and got the guy from the Raiders and all these, they signed Jones and him, and they was like they're gonna after 2 years, if it don't work out, they gonna get him. All this is just always something, man. And I think he's probably happy as hell that he's not on there. From what everything I've seen today, all the players seem like they're very upset with the Giants and how they handled it. I don't know what's going on with both of these New York, um, the Jets and the Giants, and how they handling things. It's not looking good. They were saying like, how are you going to do that to him? And I was thinking about this too. Like Jones has been there for a minute, so to me, you would think he would be like he's the leader of the team. You know what I'm saying? And the vet now of all these young players that's coming in, and look how you treated him. You know what I mean? Like that's like just straight disrespect. Then they were saying, they picked him over Barkley, and then I heard that they could have got him and Barkley. They could have got them both, but it just seemed like I think it's a blessing in disguise for him because it seemed like who's ever running the team or who's ever the owners, whoever they don't really know what they're doing.
Yeah, the thing with Daniel Jones, I think it's like you said, it's just a bad fit for him. I definitely
Hmm.
thought Brian Dayball was going to be like kind of and 2 years ago, it looked like that could be the perfect combination. With
Right.
obviously they had success in that
Hmm.
wild card, and then beating
Hmm.
Minnesota, and so
Hmm.
um, I just look at this whole Daniel Jones situation. It just didn't work out. I think obviously they had that 1 year, and it just didn't go through going forward. Um, it's kind of one of the things where it's like I'm kind of conflicted because it's like the Giants did him dirty, but in a sense, they did right by him by granting his
Right.
permission to release, because in a
Right.
sense, to release him, especially that during that kind of this time period, is rather odd. But hey, that's what he wanted. They did right by him.
Right.
So, and then they did
Right.
allow him to talk to the media and kind of express his thoughts with as far as what the organization is concerned. Um, yeah, and just the whole fact of this whole benching him, like this, where it's like you pretty much, to me, it seemed like you were just like kind of tanking because, like you said, we talked about the Drew Lock is the number two QB
Right.
number two, which in theory he could win a game. Like if we were sitting here, obviously you got what Thanksgiving, on Thursday. I could have seen like a Drew Lock beating the Dallas Cowboys on Thanksgiving, because he can give you a game or two. He can kind of give you somewhat of a spark, but they don't want a spark. They're in other words, they're tanking. This is kind of one of those where they know that they're really they're not they're not moving anywhere. They're not doing thing any
Right.
as far as they know that their future is done. They need this to be a whole rebuild. So I think they
Right.
just kind of got the rebuild kind of started early. And they'll probably clean house. There'll be another team that's that'll be cleaning house. But I'm really interested of where he would potentially go. I think because I know he said he wants like a playoff caliber team. I know the Raiders wanted him in a sense, but he kind of rejected going to Las Vegas, which I understand, especially because in the fact the situation with the Vegas situation, it's gonna be another one where he might get released again because they're gonna get a quarterback in the draft this year. So it's like, so it's kind of one of the things where, hey, do I want to be a bridge to that type of quarterback? Maybe, as far as like maybe who we thinking, maybe like a Shador Sanders, Cam Ward.
Hmm.
I want to be like their backup versus playing for a legitimate team. Could I be a backup to like Josh Allen, Brock Purdy, Jared Goff, where I can win versus here? I'm never, in both situations, what would be best for him. I think um him being clear off waivers and he can kind of pick his own spot,
Right.
which is gonna be a good thing for him. But yeah, I'm just curious who will pick him up. I think San Francisco might need him, but then
Yeah,
they're at a
same.
point where they're at a crossroads because if they lose Sunday, they 5-7, and it's like I
Mm.
don't think they're gonna be in the playoffs. So and then what they're gonna do with Brock Purdy going forward? Like, are they gonna sign him to the deal that I think, in my personal opinion, he deserves? I don't know if they're willing to pay him, which I mean, that's
Uh,
we'll find out in March. But that's going to be the intriguing part of it all. I think if I'm him, I mean, I wouldn't be privy to go to Detroit. And maybe I could get a ring in Detroit potentially, and and a big fu to the Giants.
I mean, like we said, he
Who's
a
to say?
quarterback, man. I know a lot coming in, but it should still a market there for him.
Or in Vegas
No,
or
no, no. I'm
general.
just saying it. I'm just
Oh,
saying
oh
in
yeah, oh yeah,
general,
yeah,
like
yeah.
being a quarterback. There's I feel
Oh
like there's always a market for a quarterback.
yeah, the way the quarterback plays in this day and age, yeah, he'll definitely be a backup. His days are just beginning. He's only 27 too, so he could probably be a starter again.
I believe that's what he probably was coming in to do is to be probably somebody's backup and probably got thrown to being a starter at a New York Giant. Like, what I mean? One of probably the worst play, you know what I mean? You got to have thick skin for that. Wherever he goes, though, because he was a Giants quarterback, I think he's going to do well. I
Yeah.
mean, motivation will always be Baker Mayfield.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And yeah, and then I think just this whole Giant situation is just a mess. I think regardless of who would have been in this predicament, I think it just would have been, and I don't necessarily think the whole thing of him kind of replacing Eli Manning kind of that big of a cloud in a sense. But I know like him coming in is like, oh, he's gonna be the heir apparent. He can be the next,
Right,
starting quarterback for this Giants team after Eli retired. So I mean, yeah, but I still think even at 27, I think he gonna be all right. I think he'll be a QB2 for a little bit, but I can see him becoming a QB1 in the next couple,
mm,
maybe a year or two, because I think just this whole everything happens, and we still haven't really thought about like if somebody has a quarterback has a catastrophic injury that
right.
derails them for the season or a few weeks going to the playoffs. So who's to say? Because it could be a situation where we can have something happen this weekend, and Daniel Jones is on a flight
Right,
somewhere, on the
right,
south, almost a la like a Joe Flacco, who when the Browns sent him on a public flight and sent him to Cleveland. Hey,
right.
I think he can happen to him as well too. So yeah, the future's bright for Daniel Jones, and he can ball. I mean, he can play. I ain't gonna front.
Yeah,
How many people gonna be
yeah,
like? People say, "Oh, he's trash." I'm like, when he played to watch the Commanders,
yeah. He balled.
that boy was Joe
Uh,
Montana.
right, and he's probably going to the Niners because
Yeah,
I think how he was treated, even though they did release him, and how he was kind of carried. I think that's when it's going to be good for him to be with your homeboy, being, what I'm saying,
oh,
be over
Cal.
there. Yeah, you know what I mean. Regardless if he get a chance to play or not, at least he'll, what I'm saying,
Yeah,
be with a better organization, a better staff. You know what I mean. Like I said, from the time he was drafted and he got the coach, it's always since the time he got there's been nothing but drama. Like, up and downs with Saquon Barkley and the drama that came with that. Like, and all them every time something happened, they look at him. You know what I mean? Like they looking at
yeah,
Daniel Jones and he like, I'm just trying to ball. I mean, I ain't even asked to be here. Like, they drafted me. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah.
I, I,
And that's one thing too. Yeah, you
I'm sorry. Go
magnify.
ahead. Go ahead. My bad.
Yeah,
My bad. Go ahead.
when you magnify, you're the quarterback. New York, yeah, everything get magnified. That's
Right.
the way it is, unfortunately. And
I remember
with the quarterback position,
when he got drafted, I remember Joe Budden like shocked and was like, "Who the hell is this?" And like on the floor, like, "What's going on?" Like, why would they? Who is this guy? You know what I mean?
yeah,
And his fiance laughing, and that's why I was like, "Well, damn." And you automatically look like, "Damn." They just randomly just pick somebody and didn't pick. You know what I mean? Who you would think they would pick? You know what I mean? But
yeah.
anyway.
But Daniel Jones, he had a good and that's what I told people. Like Daniel Jones, it was legit at Duke. Like especially
Hmm.
I was saying in the beginning, when he first came, I was like, as a Carolina fan, he beat us every year. He started his sophomore season, he beat us his sophomore, junior, and senior season. He beat us 3 years in a row.
Hmm.
I like Daniel Jones, and that's what I think because a lot of people don't follow obviously Duke football because I mean obviously Duke
Right.
is a basketball school, so some people don't even think they have a football program, but yes, they do have it, and they do have at the time they had a great coach and Coach Cutcliffe, who also coached Peyton and Eli. So uh, he came from a good coaching tree there
Hmm.
with David Cutcliffe. So yeah, I mean, yeah, he gonna trust me. He gonna let him go to a system and they believe in him. Like I said, let him go to San
Right.
Francisco. Huh. Brandon Allen, he gone. No, I don't want to say
Right.
Brandon Allen gone, but shoot, let Brandon Allen have a bad game. What they play Sunday night?
Yeah, because Brock
Daniel
hurt,
Jones on
right?
the first flight. Yeah, he'll be on the first flight to Santa Clara for sure. Let Brandon Allen have a bad game,
Right.
especially at 5-7. They can salvage their season. Daniel Jones to the rescue,
He a
and we
big
might
boy
have
too. He a big boy
yeah,
that can run.
yep. Shoot, let Cal put him in his offense, take him under his wing.
Hmm.
It might get a little scary for
Right.
y'all. But yeah, man, we found out Danny Dimes about to throw dimes in the Pacific Ocean on the San Francisco on the Bay Bridge.
Hmm. Yeah. Today though, man, a lot of these athletes and ex coaches, oh, they were upset how he was treated. They were upset, and they
Oh
was
yeah,
like,
Rich Ryan.
it starts with, he said, when they do something like this, he said, now nobody's trying to play to win. They're trying to play so they could be seen and try to save their job. Because if you could treat him that way, pretty soon the coach and the assistant coaches and the GM, they all should be looking like we may be next. You know what I mean?
They will be next, yeah. And I think
Right.
they're trying to get in that running to get a quarterback.
Right.
Because now you just look at it now, they're like 2-9. So they're the worst team in the NFC. They tied with the worst record in the NFL. I think if my memory serves correct, I think either they're number one or number two in the draft. So yes, they want to stay where they at, and and it's unfortunate. That's the nature of the beast, and that's trust me. As being this how it was for us last year, and it's just not essentially benching guys, but getting rid of trading for guys to get current to get draft capital,
Right.
for the next person. But yeah, because
Right.
this Giants team, it's gonna be a complete overhaul. Like everybody's gone, the GM, the coaches, and they're gonna clean house. And the only person who's gonna be there is John Mayer, the owner.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
Everybody gone. People who working in the facility, the lady who worked the front desk, she probably gonna be gone. Everybody gone.
Do you feel like the reason why the Jets owner and the Giants owner did that because he saw the new owners of the Commanders when I think it was last season, they really was tweeting and speaking their mind about some of the losses and how they need to really fix the culture and get things, you know what I'm trying to say, right? Do you feel like that's why
I
they
don't.
doing it?
Well, I think it's that too, and plus the simple fact of just them not being competitive anymore. Like obviously, you look at like with the Jet situation. they went all in for Aaron Rodgers, and look where they
Mm-hmm.
got them. So now they, in a weird way, kind of need to find their next quarterback because, in other words, they still have pieces they can kind of salvage. You still got a Sauce Gardner. You still got the young wide receivers. You got Garrett
Right.
Wilson. So you got some stuff there, but now you're back at square one because think about it, when they had pretty much a trio of quarterbacks. They had Zach Wilson, Mike
Uh-huh.
White,
Mm-hmm.
Flacco, and they were more successful than what Aaron Rodgers has done. Because you think about Aaron Rodgers, the first year he is hurt on the fourth play of last season, so
Right.
he was out the whole year. And now what they're like 3-8 or like I forgot what their record is. They like
Mm-hmm.
3-8 or something like that. I think they 3-8. So yeah, it's back at square one. So they gotta get to a point where and once again it's kind of like and it's a dark cloud with them anyway because that's the thing about them because we thought the Aaron Rodgers deal was going to kind of put them over the hump. Where
Mm-hmm.
even then, with that, when we talk about the trio, they were still winning 8 games, 7 games. They were kind of playing meaningful football right around this time last year and just kind of faltered. Then you bring in a guy like Aaron Rodgers, who you thinking even in the twilight of his career would be way more productive than the guys that you kind of had like like this carousel quarterback that you had in the 2021 and also in 2022 as well. So yeah, they got to rebuild. And then I look at the Giants, and I think it's just more so. I think I necessarily think it's more so like kind of like with the Commanders, but just in general, like you need to play catch up. I mean, obviously, I think the Giants is another one where in 2022 they made the playoffs. They say, okay, well, all right. Then going forward in 2023, I know they were kind of like injury ridden in that game because obviously I think because Daniel Jones out for
Mm-hmm.
the bulk of the season. That's when they had like Tyrod, Tommy DeVito, pretty much everybody played quarterback for the Giants last year in a sense. So I think it's just one of those where it's like, yeah, they these heightened expectations, and now it just came tumbling back. I think they just got to regroup, and I think both of them are going to clean. Obviously, the Jets have kind of already kind of done that in a sense, got rid of Robert Saleh, and then our guy Joe Douglas, Mechanicsville High School.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so which they did my boy dirty. They did our guy dirty. I never forget him for that. But yeah, shout out to Joe Douglas, man.
But again, I'm not gonna say the Giants is a horrible organization. The Jets have been a bad organization for a long time. you know, I'm not gonna
They
say
both
that.
are.
I'm not. Yeah, they both are. Let's just go ahead and throw that out there. Let's go ahead and do that. Just throw that out there. My thing is
Yeah.
too. When you're an owner, be an owner, and let your GM and all them let them do what they do. You know what I mean? Be the owner.
Yeah.
Be the owner.
Yeah. But but if I'm with the Giants and I'm like just that's why like they're never gonna have the hard knocks off season ever again. They're never gonna have that ever. That's never gonna happen. You'll never ever see that because I still to this day. You want if you ever want if you ever want to make yourself laugh like on the floor when this fool Joe Shan was like told Saquon, "Oh, find your own deal," and then I'm like. That man found his own deal in his own backyard. This fool didn't even have to move. I'm like he made it seem as if like it was gonna be hard for him to get a deal. I'm like, what? Like when that
and then
man said,
he's
"Go and find a deal,"
and he's becoming the face of the team and the true like he's moving hers to the side and saying this is my team, this is my team. Like the rest of the team is looking like, and not to be a hater, that's probably going to be a problem. you know,
yeah,
ego is a must because it ain't always about winning. You know what I mean?
yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Like that's like when you hear that man say, "We're gonna get him and make him find his own deal." I'm like, you let
Yeah.
that man go somewhere and find another deal. You thought he was gonna come back? That's just like you telling a woman, "Yeah, we need to go on a break." What? She ain't never
Right.
coming back. Talk
Right.
about something the hard found and all that type of stuff. No, don't listen to that foolishness. She gone.
I mean, the way it is now, I think what happened to Daniel Jones, and like I said, they did release him, but it's the steps that they did. They signed Locke and gave him a $5 million deal or whatever they gave him from what the guy said earlier. But like, they're not really gonna play him. They went right to the third string guy, right?
Yeah, Tommy DeVito. Yeah,
So
Tommy
so
DeVito.
to me, I mean, I know players they want to believe team. Man, got to be there for self. Got to be there for self, man.
Yeah,
Like I know deep down, and I know some of the guys that were talking today, they were very emotional when they were speaking about it. You want to win, you want to have team, you want to have a great locker room, but when you see, and I've never heard anything negative about Daniel Jones either.
yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, have you? I never heard like they say he did this or said this and this and
No,
that,
no.
and for them to
Mm,
treat him that way, and even Saquon Barkley, like man, this dude getting hurt all the time because he carrying the whole team on his back, and you gonna treat
yeah.
him that way? Man, it's 2024 going to 2025. There's a lot of other teams, and I keep saying this, um, coach, that there's a team in Kansas City. You can keep disrespecting these star players. They will figure out a way to sign them for a year, and them boys will mess around and win a Super
Yeah,
Bowl.
football, right.
And they'll let them go or sign them. Like no lie, man. Stop
Yep.
treating me. You better start valuing special players.
And especially now, you look at, and it's funny now when we look at the running back position, what maybe like a year or so ago, and how a lot of people was kind of like taking it for granted. But you look
Yeah.
at how successful, look how robust the free agent market was this year, and look how big of a dividend they've had.
Right.
We already talked about, Derrick Henry going to the Ravens. That was a huge one. We just
Right.
talked about Saquon going to Philly. Literally, not even having to move. He got a deal in his backyard. And then you look at like what Josh Jacobs is doing in Green Bay. And you look at how successful those three teams have been. And so it's just kind of one of the things where I always find it funny how the tables turn, where people was looking at the running back position is like, oh, it's nothing. But then, you know, you look how successful these three teams, and I think they're teams that I think could potentially, and I can even throw Joe Mixon in that mix as well too. I forgot to kind of add him to with Houston.
Hmm.
I think these teams that are poised to potentially make a deep playoff run off the heels of those four running backs that I mentioned. So
I mean, when
it's, it's
just to pull it, you know what I mean. Like you really just need to value players a little bit better, man. Because there's a lot of players that we thought were over with that they're all doing well this season. Even Gino, Flacco, um, you know what I mean. Russell, even Fields. You know what I mean. Like I don't understand. To me, it should be a business. It should be straight up business. If you can't get it right, then let me go. You know what I mean? But don't, you know,
yeah,
go find your deal. Are you serious?
yeah, that was wild. But and the Giants with Daniel Jones thing, they were just trying to save that money so he won't get hurt. That's why they put him so far back in that depth chart. In other words, we ain't trying to have
Right.
you play pretty much wrap you in plastic. And I do
Right.
feel for like Drew Lock, as we talked about him earlier, because now he doesn't really have any I call 2024 film for him, because you would assume more likely if they clean house, he may be gone too. So
Hmm.
unless they get a guy who fits his scheme, like if they get I don't know, as far as the name and anything, but if once they get a head coach in the OC, they might get rid of Drew Lock. So it's kind of one thing where his market kind of, I won't say
Hmm.
shrinks. We still have film, but as far as this would have been a great opportunity for him to kind of audition for his next gig, in my
Right.
personal opinion. So it sucks. It sucks for everybody. Like making that type of move, and it's only really helping Tommy DeVito, and he just pretty much a Jersey kid in the backyard. They eat cutlets, with his mama make him cutlets after the game.
Right. Hey,
Right,
so
right.
so by them not playing Lucky, right? So that means that the coach already know he about to get fired. That's what you're saying.
Well, I mean, well, that's more of the organization, like in a sense, where I think that's just kind of one of those where I think they're just tanking. I think, in my personal opinion, they're tanking because,
Okay.
like I was saying earlier, Drew Lock, like I said, Drew Lock would he'll keep you in games. If he was playing Thursday, I think he would beat the Cowboys because I think he's one of those where in spurts he can play. And I think a
Hmm.
game like a Dallas, could be a game where he can ball out and do his thing. But they just want this Tommy DeVito probably because he ain't gonna do much, and obviously he ain't gonna really he won some games a little bit last year, but it won't like nothing like earth shattering. And I think that's
Hmm.
where they at now at 2-9. I mean, I kind of get it because they know they're going to try to get a quarterback, and they're not trying to win a game because that's gonna, and that comes from upstairs. I don't think it's necessarily a Joe Sheehan move because Joe Sheehan's probably gonna be out as well.
Hmm.
So I think that's an upstairs call where they're gonna be there, so they want, hey, we want to save some money. We may take a cap hit with Daniel Jones, but hey, we wrapped him in so we'll have to, we wouldn't necessarily have to have him on a roster because he's hurt. So hey, we just get rid of him, take the little small hit that we get, but we still save a little bit of money on the back end because we got rid of him. So I mean, yeah, and that's an unfortunate thing about the business, where especially at this point at 2-9, they're like, you know what, it's 2024. We got to punt. I mean, we got to worry about 2025. We essentially have punted this year, which don't blame them.
Right. It's
Yeah,
crazy though. It's crazy.
for sure. Yeah, straight business.
Straight business. So
So
before we move on, what's the odds that because what we're talking about, and you saying that the Italian guy DeVito, that's his name,
yeah, Tommy DeVito.
and
Yeah,
DeVito. What's the odds if they change it and say they're gonna let Lockett because like you just said, he's not gonna have no film, and you know what I mean? Or
yeah.
you think they might just be keeping him because they want him to stay there? I just don't understand why they're not playing him. Why they wouldn't play
I,
him? Because they're
it's
tanking, basically. That's why you're
They're
saying.
tanking. Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
because I think Drew Lock in a weird way could potentially keep them in games. And I don't think they want to be in games because like you look at even like how Malik Neighbors point in a weird way because they got crushed by the Buccaneers Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And Malik Neighbors said ain't no difference. It's the play call. It's Dave's.
Mm-hmm.
Which Brian Dayball. And he said that falls on him because we got the same outcome. It ain't just because DJ ain't there, which Daniel Jones, like he said. So yeah, I think they just because I mean, if you had a rush record, I mean, why not? You get the quarterback, and who's to say if you can you know if you can have a situation where and kind of the if Shajoa Sanders is in the picture, you got to give yourself some time to kind of get the people in the position that Dion trusts to have his son there. Because I know that
Right.
people say situation there, but hey, I'm just throwing out a name. This is for s and giggles. But like if you hire like a Bill Belichick,
Mm-hmm.
the prodigal son come home in his twilight of his career. The prodigal son, the most your greatest defensive coordinator of all time. Bill Parcells' prized pupil goes back to the Giants and becomes the head coach. Will, in a sense, with him being in that building, will it be enough for like a Deion Sanders to look at the Giants, as far as, to make like will it be like a viable team for him? And I don't think it's gonna happen because I think in my personal opinion it's going to be the Raiders. I think what else it boils down to. I think it'll be the Raiders where he'll go. But and even if any bad situation, how the Giants will pretty much after January 6th, how they will look. And will it be attractive? Will it be an attractive place? I know, like when I talk on one of the other shows that I do, NFC Beast, and they were talking about it's not, the Giants may not be attractive, but it's
Hmm.
hard for you to say that now because your current situation now. Because I was saying even this, if you were looking at this time last year with the Commanders, I would have never thought that people would look at this as the ultimate destination. As far as going, people want to get traded to DC, and didn't even think we would have like a guy like a Dan Quinn being our head
Hmm.
coach and all types of stuff. So, it started becoming more of an attractive place compared to how it was last year. And I think that's the same
Hmm.
thing with the Giants if they play their cards right. So it's kind of one of where it may not be desirable to be at now, but if they put the guys in place, it could be a place where they could build something for sure.
Hmm.
But
I hear you.
yeah.
We
So
will see.
yes, it's and yeah, it will. As dominoes are starting to kind of settle, and yeah, we'll definitely see very very soon. It's everything I kind of now coming into place, and letting everything kind of flow and be here before you know it. So we got to go into our game to watch this weekend. What are your game to watch this weekend? What you got?
I like that Cardinals versus the Vikings, and the Eagles versus the Ravens, and of course the Steelers versus the Bengals.
Oh yeah, yeah.
We need to win this
Yeah.
game.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we need to win that game.
yeah. So I got obviously top of the list Eagles versus the Ravens. I think this is a quasi Super Bowl matchup potentially.
Mm,
We shall see.
right.
I think this is kind of where we talked about the success of these running games. Obviously, who's going to kind of come out this win? That's gonna be because it's gonna be a bloodbath. I think it's gonna be where it's gonna be a very very physical game. Uh, who will kind of have the better performance between Saquon and uh Derrick Henry? That's gonna be the kind of the question. Um, Obviously, both of these teams coming in winning. So obviously, I think the Eagles got a 6 game winning streak. The Ravens coming in, especially off the heels off of beating the Chargers. That's gonna be an interesting one. I do like the 49ers and the Bills. In a strange way, we might have our first playoff clinching situation on Sunday. So pretty much, if the Bills win and the Dolphins lose on Thursday, the Buffalo Bills on December 1st could be the 2024 AFC East champions. There could be people
Right.
in West New York having championship tees and hats before Christmas. It ain't even gonna be under the tree. They're gonna be wearing it on Christmas Day. Crazy,
Right.
crazy,
Still
crazy.
don't mean they gonna do anything.
Oh, hey, they be at the crib. I don't know who they're gonna play, but hey, at this point, they've been rolling. Hey, at this point, they've looked good. So far, I gotta give them credit. I
I
don't think
got
they've
you.
been this good. I don't think they've been this good as far as a regular season perspective in a minute. As far as like
Right.
dumb, were they like 9 and they think they like 9-2. I think they won like 7 straight or something like that.
Right.
So, and I definitely think they're gonna beat the 49ers. Obviously, that's the battle of the Allens. Brandon Allen versus Josh Allen. So it's the Allen Bowl.
Right.
But yeah, man, the Bills might be celebrating the AFC East championship. Dang, that's wild. With like what we got, because this is what week 13. We still got like 5 weeks left.
Yeah. They got a
That's
sorry
wild to
division.
win.
Horrible division.
Hey, hey, take it how you live it. And
Uh,
I thought this gonna be kind of a competitive. competitive division. Going into the season because obviously
Hmm.
you thought the Jets were going to be somewhat worth it, and then obviously you thought Tua, and they still kind of fight for their playoff lives. So they're another team. It's definitely I think if Tua didn't get that concussion, um, you know, in week 2 of the NFL season, and then he didn't come back until like week 8 or 9. So
Right.
that's another one. Then we also knew the Patriots were going to be the Patriots, but I'm glad my nephew started to play. Cause I know at one point I was like, man, this Jacoby Brissett was just taking it up. I'm like, man, let my nephew play. But and he taking some lumps, but nephew, I'm telling you, nephew gonna be all right though. Drake May gonna be all right.
He played for North Carolina.
Yeah,
He's so crazy.
yeah. Drake May. He's slowly like he creeping up there as far as that wise. I think he got like 9 or 10 touchdowns on the season so far. I'm like,
Okay.
yeah, nephew about to be legit. Let him get some weapons. Fire Gerard Mayo. Bring in somebody. Bring in a young offensive mind. He's because to me Gerard Mayo is nothing but a little Bill. He little Bill. He another little. I mean, he a little Bill, but he a little bit more of a younger. He ain't. I don't think he like tough like. Well, he called him soft. Matter of fact, nah, yeah, he a little Bill because he called his scene soft.
Right.
He a little Bill. He. I don't think he's like a. I don't think he's like an Eric Mangini little Bill type or like Eric Romeo Cornell or uh, who else? Matt Patricia, like those guys. I don't think he that type little Bill, but he like a little version of Bill. I think he take a little bit of stuff from Bill, but not like them because they are Josh McDaniels.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, but
Where
my
is
yeah.
where is Josh McDaniels? He still with the Patriots?
I don't know what Josh McDaniels is. You know what? Let me see where is Josh McDaniels. Better not be nowhere. Josh McDaniels. I don't know if he's still on. Let me see where's Josh McDaniels now. So he's what? What is he now? Is America? Let's see. Where is he at now? Is Josh McDaniels currently coaching? Where is he at now? This is what 2024. So yeah, I don't. It's nowhere because I know you fired last year with the Raiders. Yeah,
Hmm.
because he got fired with the Raiders last year, and I guess he ain't nothing really. After what happened last year. Yeah, I mean that was an unceremonious exit with the Raiders. So yeah, he's nowhere. He's a free agent.
Mm.
But yeah, but it is what it is.
Right,
So
right.
I go into our picks this weekend. So we have some ranked matchups. And the rankings, I'm not gonna do the rankings because I know we just had the college CFP rankings. Not to be confused, didn't obviously that happened right before we went on air. So we do have two ranked matchups in college, and then we kind of spiced it up a little bit with some games, some midday games and some primetime games for this week for the NFL. So we got South Carolina versus Clemson in a battle for the I forgot what there is. I don't know if it's look for the battle for South Carolina, but I don't know if it's like Palmetto something. I don't know what it is.
I'm going with
So
Clemson.
okay, got Clemson.
Hmm.
Yeah, give me Clemson because it'd be a depth. I mean, in Clemson. So yeah, give me that. We got a rivalry that's finally renewed. I know a lot of people when Texas when the Texas A&M moved to the SEC, people was like, oh, we're gonna miss this rivalry. And because what did Texas? No, did they go to the Big? Yeah, because all right, because they both was in the Big 12. Texas A&M jetted, and then now Texas they now both in the SEC. And the winner of this, they got a first class trip to Atlanta next week in the SEC championship game. Who you got? They got Texas. versus Texas A&M.
I got Texas.
At UT. All right.
Hmm.
Um, the contrarian. I'm gonna get the Aggies. I think Mike Elko and them boys gonna take care of business and head on down to Atlanta next Saturday and play them Bulldogs. So we got Cardinals versus the Vikings. The Cardinals head east on the 1 o'clock showdown. What you got?
I'm giving it to the Vikings.
Okay. Yeah, give me Skull. I need Skull to win because at this point, I need Arizona to lose. At this point, Arizona's in our way. even though at 7, we probably gonna have a first class ticket to Philly. So it's like I'm on to a point. I don't even want to make the playoffs for real. Unless because I don't think we're gonna be able to beat Philly. So I'm like, man, I don't even want to make the playoffs.
I think y'all could beat whoever, man. For real.
You know what? At this point, play Marcus Mariota. Let's tank so we. Nah, when I was serious, no. So we got the Eagles and the Ravens. So we got Jalen Hurts coming to the Avenue. What
I'm
you
going with
got?
I'm going with the Eagles.
Okay. Give me the boys from the Avenue. Give me the Ravens. Because no, it's just like no, I I need the Eagles to lose as well. I need that win streak to end.
If they was playing anybody else, but anybody from my division, I'd have picked the other team. But yeah, we need the Eagles to do that.
We need the Ravens to beat the Eagles, man. We need you know. I'm just crushing the games that on Hulu. So then we got Hulu. So we got the Bills versus the 49ers under the lights in Western New York. Who you got?
I'm reaching, but I'm going with the 49ers.
Okay, I got Brandon Allen beating Josh Allen in Western New York. Give me the Buffalo Bills. It's time, guys. The lovable losers. There are going to be kids going to school before Christmas break with their 2024 AFC East Championship hats and shirts. You ain't even got to worry about Santa Claus giving you it. You get one Sunday night.
Mm.
Give me the Buffalo Bills. Yeah, it's about time. I think we need a Bills and a Lions Super Bowl. We need that. We need that. Gosh,
No,
can you
no.
imagine? Gosh, that's gonna be the most historic Super Bowl because somebody's got to win that game. This is gonna be
Right.
a matchup between two teams that have never won a Super Bowl. That would be
Mm.
wild.
Yeah,
That
that'd be
would be
wild.
wild. We need that. We need some one of these long suffering fan bases need it. Could you
Mm.
imagine us living in a world that either the Detroit Lions or the Buffalo Bills win a Super Bowl? Man,
Mm. Damn.
that might be just as close as having world peace.
Dramatic.
So we got hey man, hyperbole king. We got the Browns versus the Broncos. Your boy Jameis Winston on the Monday Night Football in Denver. Hopefully we have some snow again. Who you got in this matchup?
I'm going with the Broncos. That snow look horrible.
Oh, I loved it. I'm gonna tell you one thing. I know this is gonna get sidetracked, dude. I was watching that game in the snow. It was so much fun. It was so much fun. I put up my Christmas tree. I was
I
almost like
mean, I ain't mad at that.
I was like I felt like a little child. I was like, oh, this is so cool. Like, man, it was fun, man. I was like, man, we gotta have some more snow games. That was so fun. Like, it
Nah,
was a
B.
fun
Nah.
game. It was like, and it
I
was
hate it.
blinded snow. I mean,
I
yeah, because
hate
I
it.
ain't in it. I ain't in it.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah, trust me. If I would have been driving or something, yeah, I would have ate it. But I mean, hey, I'm just sitting on my sofa, you know, chilling, you know. covers up, chilling, blanket on me. Man, it was fun.
You know, did you see those people there with no shirt on? Me?
Yeah, that's crazy. That's insane.
Man, you losing your mind. That's how we
You crazy.
you
You
tripping.
crazy.
That's how
Because I know
COVID got
me,
started.
man, I already know if I did some mess like that, oh, take me to urgent care and give me some chest x-rays because I know I'm finna have a cold. I'm finna have pneumonia. I'm telling you, we don't play like that. We do not play like that.
You got the
We
cold
just
shoulder.
a cold shoulder and mucus all these white spots on your lungs and
Crazy.
all that fluid around your heart. Like, boy, hell no. It's 20 something degrees outside, you shirtless. That mucus gonna be all straight down. That mucus gonna be just as thick as some gravy down your lungs. That chest X-ray gonna be like, bro.
I know one thing though. I saw that TJ Watt didn't play well in that snow. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like they was double and triple team. He couldn't do anything with it.
Oh yeah, man.
They had to
That's
come from the other side. You know what I mean?
and it was funny because they had to make the lines like
Yeah,
digitalized
yeah, yeah.
lines. I was like, man, that's probably that was probably I don't know something about this year. Amazon don't miss. Amazon didn't miss this year. Most years they be like the
Right.
games be kind of trash. I'm like,
Yeah.
their games been pretty good this year.
You see, you got like a feature where you can make it look like you playing Madden.
Yeah.
You ever done it?
I tell you, no, I haven't done it. I haven't really. It's so weird. I think I feel like an old man because like I just want to watch the game, but like there's so many different stuff. Like I was excited about the type of stuff like the advanced stat
All
stuff.
right.
I think
All
when
right.
the first year when it came out, I was like really enamored by that type of stuff. But now it's like I just want to watch a game. There's some stuff kind of bothering me about the whole QR codes. You can order stuff. I'm like, dude, like I'm a I'm an Amazon junkie and all, but please don't throw those tantalizing QR codes that I get put on my phone. Like I'm already an addict. Don't make the junkie become more of a junkie.
Hey,
Don't
baby,
make me a junkie.
you ain't doing up but saying what people like, oh my God. Just
I
gotta
know.
use it. And I work, I do the Amazon thing, so you use your phone for everything, man.
I know. And then don't help when you get packages and they had a little Thursday night football wrapper. I'm like, come on, man. Come on. Me scratching your neck like you're ready to open up my package.
Right.
It's like, I need this. It's like, why do you need a fourth Fire Stick remote?
Right.
Why you need this? Why you need that? Like, you got
Man,
too much shit
mine was
yourself.
acting up, so I had to download the app. And oh my God, you know how annoying it was because they kept having
Oh yeah,
ads. I
I
was,
know, man. That's
I was
like,
like, come on, man. Come on, man. I
yep.
just want to go. I just want to speed up. Like, I just want to go to the next.
And all you gotta do, put it on your phone, you'll get it the next freaking day. It's so crazy. I'm like, whoever created this, why
All
why why did you
Amazon,
do this?
all Amazon got to do now is come up with their own Wi-Fi, their own internet.
It's a
No
wrap.
Wi-Fi.
It'll
Yeah,
be
and
a
it's
wrap.
done.
It's a
Everybody gonna
wrap
go to them. Everybody gonna go to
for
them,
sure.
B.
For sure. Oh yeah, for sure. And then you have the Amazon Prime thing situation too. So I
Right.
bet if they have their own like kind of server in a sense, like man, it'll be crystal clear and all
Right.
that. Then they got more money. Shoot, then we're gonna have Beyonce coming to Amazon. Forget Netflix. Beyonce gonna be coming to Amazon. We'll have a Beyonce concert. We'll have a Beyonce
Hey
concert
B,
at the Ravens game.
he want to make sure you come. He want to make sure you come. You watch Netflix football. He gonna say, "Hey B, we need you. So I got you."
That's wild.
Man,
But
they
yeah,
let me tell you
man.
something. The NFL has like really, really, really. When it comes to Beyonce, I think she done performed like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
think three. I think three. You know what I mean? Like she be Jay Z
Matter
be
of fact,
working her, boy.
yeah, because matter of fact, the last time Super Bowl was in New Orleans, it was there. Then when the
Hmm.
lights went out, then this year perform Bruno Mars that
Yeah,
Super Bowl 50
yeah.
when your boy Cam Newton didn't when he didn't land on that fumble and everybody still talking about it 10 years later. Yeah, I gotta let that go.
It's a lot of stuff with him. They need to let go
Right.
of because
Yeah,
he's
for
trying
sure.
to redo himself. You know.
Yeah, let that man live and put that man on the first floor. Put that man on the first floor. That's all I gotta say. Put that man on the
Put that.
first floor again.
Yeah, they know he supposed to put him on the floor. You can't think Carolina
Hell
Panthers not
yeah.
think about him. Come on,
That
B.
man need to have a statue. That man need to have a statue.
You know, for real, I feel like he was the first Ja because you know how the little kids kind of like was dancing like him, like
Mm-hmm.
some kids probably didn't even watch football, but they like Cam Newton. You know what I'm saying? He opened his shirt like he was Superman, and then he was doing his
Mm-hmm.
dance. You know, he was doing the
Hell
dance,
yeah,
but that's the
God.
thing though. He started getting too
Yeah.
weird, man. Like somebody's auntie going outside
Man,
and it's raining.
man, that John was killing me. I remember when we played them that year, the year they won the Super Bowl. What a year they was 15-1. Man, they beat the snot out of us. I was like every time Cam Newton dabbing, giving kids football, I'm like, dude, like that was so I hated every moment of that game. I watched the game. I was like, man, this cannot be possible. They blowing a mess out of us. And all he doing is killing us all different kind of ways, and he dabbing, throwing football to kids the whole freaking game. I'm like, man, I felt like the whole Mecklenburg County got footballs that day. Man, that was crazy. And the crazy thing about it, we made the playoffs that year. We won the NFC East. And that just show you that's another one where it's like it's levels to it, man. They were 15-1, and then we end up making the playoffs. We won the NFC East. I think we were like 9-7 that year. Now I'm like,
But
man,
it's
there's no
something
way.
about him that a lot of players don't like him because I remember that he was dabbing and doing all that, and they would be pushing him. You know, they didn't treat Michael Vick that way. They don't treat Lamar that way. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's really something about Cam Newton that they don't like. And
I was jealous. Yeah. Mm. But yeah, that's one thing too. Hopefully everything gets going with him, and everything be good. At least be a part of that, be a part of it. Hey, who knows? It may have to be a new owner. I've seen some wild stuff even with this organization, like people coming back. And I'm like, man, it's a good thing. So I like, hopefully, I don't know how long Temple gonna be there. Temple gonna probably be there for a minute. So, but yeah, man, let Cam come home one night on 1 week. Let him,
right.
do the keep pounding joint. The thing what they do with the I forgot what thing. When you beat the drum.
hmm
I hope they need him to do that one game to keep pounding.
hmm
And they need to bring the prodigal son back home for sure. So put a ball on tonight's show. So we'll do our game ball. Who gets game ball for you this week?
It's funny we were just talking about the Carolina Panthers. I'm going to give my game ball to Bryce Young and the Carolina Panthers. They played against the two-time world champs. Um, was Sunday, and they were the game was competitive, and it was 27-30. Like I said, I felt like if they competed, if they'd have won this game, it would have been a great thing. But just the simple fact that they fought so hard, and they I think they was on a 2-game winning streak, and it just things are looking different. You know what I'm saying? I think it's a lot of promise. I don't know if he's going to be there next year, but right, I think he will be because they moving forward. But man, I had to give the game ball to them, man. Like me say, he passed for 200. He was 21. He was 21 out of 35, 263 yards, one TD, no interceptions, and no sacks.
Yeah. And that was such a great confidence booster for him. And especially he do
Hmm.
a job like that on that Kansas City defense where essentially that's
Right,
been their calling card. That's honestly quiet as kept. That's what kept them at 10-1. If it weren't for that
right.
defense, this team probably be I wouldn't say bad as a Panther, but they would be essentially kind of in the thick of the Baltimores, the Steelers,
Hmm.
Bills, but they kind of in essence kind of separate themselves in a sense. But yeah, he got that confidence. Yeah, that's I think that's gonna be a good boost for him going into 2025.
Right.
But yeah, man, continue to tank, man. Get Travis Hunter out there. You might can get him. You might
Right.
can get him. You need some weapons. You need some. You need
Right.
a weapon. So because they all can't go to Vegas. All of them can't go to Vegas. One of them gonna have to go.
Right.
But yeah. I gotta give mine to Jameis. It's another one where like it. I think it's not more so of his performance because I mean he had a decent game. I mean obviously 18 for 27, 219 yards. But I just think the fact of just the joy after that post game and just that that unbridled joy and playing in the snow and just being excited. I mean he's from Alabama, so I
Right.
know if I'm he rarely gets to play in the snow. Obviously, even in his career, going
Right.
back to Florida State, going back to Tampa Bay, going back to New Orleans. This was his first ever snow game, and he embraced it because even when they were talking about that was going to be some snow, and he was saying, "I'm just excited to play in the snow today," and I'm like, it was almost like that childlike exuberance, which I always say with him, it's just somebody who was just and he's another one too where um you know former number one overall pick. That obviously he always be labeled that 30 for 30 guy. Obviously, the first player in NFL history to have 30 touchdown, 30 interceptions,
Mm-hmm.
and all that. Then he got his ass fixed, and he, got better as far as his numbers have improved. But yeah, and that's another one where this Cleveland Brown team really didn't have nothing to really to play for. They had another
Right.
one where but hey, and then I even like how he even handled the situation when he became the starter. Obviously, after in the aftermath of Deshaun Watson being booed, when not booed but cheered when he actually was on the ground,
Right.
literally being carted off the field with that Achilles injury. So how he handled that, but yeah, I give it out to James Winston this week, so he gets my game ball this week. So,
Right.
wrapping up the show, final thoughts and in the upcoming things, what you got going on? What you got?
Uh, Social media is DT Morgan 78 Instagram, Deshaun Morgan Facebook, and like I said, I got some things cooking. You know what I mean? So we'll see.
Okay. Um, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Under Couch Coach Live, YouTube, Couch Coach Live as well. Check out the podcast anyway. Get your podcast, Apple, Spotify, we're there. And then essentially a simpler version of kind of what I just said. Just go on the website, couchcoachlive.com. You can check out the latest articles, also the podcast feed there as well too. And yeah. And also on the website also has our social media feeds from our Facebook page. And yeah, man, this wraps up this week's Couch Coach Live. We have a special Couch Coach Live this Thursday, Thanksgiving morning, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We had our got our guy Aaron B from the Tacos and Touchdown podcast. He'll be joining us on Thanksgiving morning as we preview the Thanksgiving Day games and the Black Friday games. That is the Detroit Lions versus Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears. Then we got the Cowboys, Tommy DeVito versus Cooper Rush in the mid on the mid, and then the nightcap we got Tua Tagovailoa and them boys going all the way down to Green Bay on a very cold night, Thanksgiving night, to face Jordan Love, which last year was the guy that kind of had a coming up party this time last year in the Green Bay Packers, and then we have this Friday now an annual Black Friday matchup where we have the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Las Vegas Raiders. Which this could be a matchup that might be back on Black Friday yet again with Shador versus Patrick Mahomes. But hey, let's not put the cart before the horse. It's just November. So, but we're here. So we'll be back on Thursday morning as we preview those matchups. And yeah, this has been this week's Couch Coach Live, and we'll catch you guys on Thursday. And we're out.
You're welcome.